Hi, I'm Kevin Price with your Price Point Edition. Do want to remind you to check me out over there at The Price of Business on Business Talk 1110 AM, KTEK in Houston, and also at usdailyreview.com. I want to talk a little bit about an article in the Wall Street Journal about manufacturing slumping. And it really shouldn't be a surprise that in the U.S. of A., manufacturing continues to suffer and to struggle in this one of the worst economies since the Great Depression. And why wouldn't it suffer? Why wouldn't it struggle when you look at the larger macros, the what they call the basics, the fundamentals in our economy? First of all, our taxes are the worst taxes, the highest taxes of any industrialized country in the world. In fact, Russia, remember Russia, the communists? They now make fun of the fact that the U.S. has a tax code where the highest tax rate is approximately 3 times higher than their highest tax rate. Who would have ever thought? What would Ronald Reagan think about that today? Then you've got a situation with regulations. Well, the United States now has, especially when you factor in federal, state, and local regulations, the worst regulatory environment of any industrialized country in the world. Well, regulations are a barrier to job creation and manufacturing. It is, in fact, particularly in that arena that forces businesses to look at other countries for their manufacturing. And so it's just, you know what, it's not personal, it's business, to quote the Godfather on that situation. And that's what we don't understand, we don't appear to understand in the public policy arena, is that all of these decisions are not done for any other reason except for the fact that they make economic sense. And if the government wants manufacturing to stay in the United States, it needs to do things in order to foster it, not chase it away. Another example is in the area of litigation. Well, guess what? Guess which country has the worst litigation environment of any industrialized country in the world? If you said the United States, you're right. In fact, we're the only country in the world that I know of, in the industrialized world, that allows for lawsuits where essentially no-fault lawsuits, whereas in other countries, for example, in England, loser pays. The person who brings the suit loses, that person pays for it. Doesn't that seem to make economic sense versus a system where you have nothing to lose in suing somebody else? And what area is going to get hit hardest than manufacturing, where there's greater vulnerability to injury and to harm? What I think we need to do is look across the board at every single sector. We need to acknowledge the fact that businesses don't pay taxes. Businesses are only tax collectors. Think about it. When you go to Walmart or any other store or company or a manufacturing plant to buy something, when you buy something, you're paying for the salaries of all the employees, the building that you're paying for it, the cost of the good and service. And guess what else? The taxes that they're paying. Businesses are tax collectors. As long as a business is making a profit, all they're doing is collecting taxes. Let's get businesses out of the tax collecting business. That alone would make it a more attractive place to do business. Let's remove in sweeping form regulations that we have in the government today. By the way, under the Bush administration alone, 15,000 pages were added to the Federal Registry of Regulations. And let me tell you, Bush's White House and his bureaucracy apparatus were lightweights compared to the Obama administration. It's going to be staggering, the number of pages that he has when he leaves. Hopefully he leaves in a couple years from now. We need to change that regulatory environment and let the states take more responsibility for that and create competition among the states. And I think we need to have a losers pay legal environment when it comes to lawsuits. These areas alone could help restore manufacturing, which, as the Wall Street Journal points out, it continues to struggle. I'm Kevin Price. This is my Price Point Edition. Would love to hear from you. Give me an email at info@usdailyreview.com.